Hello everyone, in this video tutorial, you will be able to learn on how to set up the lesson activity. But before that, let me show you first an example of the lesson activity and what it looks like in the LMS. Once you open, there is a question that will appear. You have seen more than one page of this lesson. Do you want to start at the last page or so? It means that I already have seen this before and select the no button. So this is the first page of the lesson activity, and if you notice, there is a two button, read text, and then watch a video button. So if you click the watch a video, then you will go to that page and another jump button will be displayed. So there are four jump buttons: the intro to world history text, intro to world history video, test your knowledge, and then the sample menu. So aside from inserting a video, we can also create an assessment here. For example, I will click the test your knowledge jump button, and then you will see that you can create a quiz. So at the bottom of the page, there is a progress bar showing an approximate percentage of completion. So here I have completed 81% of the lesson. So to summarize, the lesson activity allows teachers to create branching exercises where students are presented with content depending on their responses. So they are directed to the specific pages. So the content may be text, multimedia, or quiz. So before starting to use the lesson activity, you need to plan your lesson structure in advance. How is it set up? So in a course with turn editing on, um, choose the lesson in the activity chooser and then click the add button. Give it a name and if required, a description. So in the description, provide instruction for student. Check this box if you want this instruction to display on the course page, but this is optional. So expand the other section to select the settings you want. In appearance settings, I will click the show more for more additional settings. Link media, if you want to include a link to a media file for student to refer to, upload it here. In progress bar, if enable, a bar is displayed at the bottom of the lesson page showing an approximate percentage of completion. Display ongoing score. If enable, each page will display the student current points earned out of the total possible. Display menu. If enable, a menu allowing users to navigate to the list through the list of pages is displayed. For this example, I will choose yes. Minimum grade to display. These settings determine whether a student must obtain a certain grade before viewing the menu. So this forces the student to go to the entire lesson on their first attempt. Then after obtaining the required grade, they can use the menu for review. Slideshow. Yes, height, width, and background color are set for the whole site. Maximum number of answers. This setting specifies the number of answers. So I will choose the default, which is the 5. Use default feedback if enable. When a response is not found for a particular question, the default response is that's the correct answer or that's the wrong answer. Link to next activity. So to provide a link from the end of the lesson to another activity in the course, select the activity from the drop-down menu. So here is the list of all the activities in the course. But for this example, I will choose the none. In availability settings, you can also set the available from and the deadline by clicking this enable box and then click the calendar icon and select the date you want. Time limit, if enable, a warning about the time limit is displayed at the beginning of the lesson and a countdown timer is displayed. So in flow control settings, allow student to review. This is yes for me. If enable, student can navigate through the lesson again from the start. Provide option to try a question again. If enable, when a question is answered, the student is given the option to try it again. So the maximum number of attempts. So this setting specify the number of the maximum number of attempts allowed for each question. So if answered incorrectly repeatedly, when the maximum is reached, the next page of the lesson is displayed. So action after correct answer. So after answering the questions correctly, there are three options for the following. The normal follow the lesson path. The show an unseen page. Pages are shown in random order with no page shown twice. And then the show an answered page, which means the pages are shown in a random order with pages containing unanswered questions shown again. But for this example, I will choose the normal, which is follow the lesson path. Number of pages to show. So this setting specifies the number of pages shown in a lesson. So it is only applicable for the lesson with pages shown in the random order. So if it is set to 0, then all the pages are shown. Here in the grade settings, select the type of grading for this activity. If the scale is chosen, you can then choose the scale from the drop-down menu, which is the default competence scale, and then the separate and connected ways of knowing. But if you choose the point, if using point grading, you can then enter the maximum grade here for this activity. The grade to pass. So type here the minimum grade to pass. Practice lesson. If it's set to yes, it does not appear in the grade book. Retakes allowed. If enabled, the student can attempt the lesson more than one. So for this example, I will choose the retakes allowed. So if you are not familiar with each settings, now you can simply click the question mark icon and then the description will appear. So for example, retakes allowed. So once done and satisfied with the setting, scroll down and click the button save and return to course. Now that the settings are already set up, the next thing that we have to do is decide what would you like to do first. So import the questions, add a content page, add a cluster, and add a question page. So a cluster typically contains question pages such as multiple choice, which are presented randomly to each student who does the lesson. So if you are happy for your learners to see each question page in the same order, then you don't need to use the cluster. Choose the add a question page. But for this example, I will add I would like to add a content page, then fill up the page title and the page content. Here in the content one, supply the name, and this will be the name of your first jump button. So since I don't have content in my first jump button, I will select this page. So for the content 2, just type the description And then again in the jump settings, so I will choose this page since I don't have a content of the teacher and student view. So once done, click the save page button. So now that I created a intro to lesson activity, I need to create a student and teacher and student view. So to do that, add a content here in the actions menu, add a content page, and then again supply the page title and the page content. So once that you fill up the page title and the page contents, so again in the content one, I will type the intro to lesson. And then here in the jump settings, I will, since I've already created intro to lesson activity, I will choose the intro to lesson activity. So again in content 2, I will type the test your knowledge and choose the this page since I don't have a content page for the test your knowledge. Once done, click the save page. As you can see, I have now two content, which is the intro to lesson activity and the teacher and student view. The last page that I want to add is to test your knowledge. And to do that, in the actions menu, select the add a question page. And then if you and then select the question type, if essay, matching, multi-choice, numerical, short answer, true, false. But for this example, I will choose the essay and then click the add a question page. So supply the page title and the page content. So here in the page contents, you will type the questions here. So once done, here in the jump button, you can select this page, next page, intro to lesson activity, or teacher and student view. But for this example, I want to end the lesson and choose the end of lesson. So here in the score settings, so you have to type here the total score of this question. So for this example, I will choose the 2 points and then click the save page. So in collapse tab, you will see the layout of the lesson. So the page title, the page type, the jumps, and the actions. No. So here you can update the page, duplicate the page, preview the page, or delete the page. Now using this icon button. So if you want to edit this particular section, for example, intro to lesson activity, click this icon, settings, and then type here the text you want to edit. And then here in the content one, sa teacher and student view, since I've already created a content here, I will now choose the teacher and student view in the jump settings. Now, same with the content too. So test your knowledge in the jump settings, I will choose the test your knowledge. So once done, click the save page. So do the same with teacher and student view and test your knowledge. Scroll down, then sa content 2, choose the test your knowledge. Save page, and then do the same with the test your knowledge. No? So since the test your knowledge is the end of the lesson, so you don't have to edit this. After updating the page, you can see the a detailed output here in the expanded tab. So this is more detailed than the collapsed tab. But if you want to preview the lesson activity you've created, so click the preview tab. Then you will see the output of the lesson activity. So if you click the teacher and student view, I will now go to the student view and teacher view page. So if I click the test your knowledge button, so I will now go to the essay questions. So that would be all for the lesson activity. Thank you and stay safe.